okay? Right, so what we've decided to do today is just keep it dry. All right, so I'm going to do a dry haircut today. So for some of you are watching, you might be like, I don't really do dry haircutting. I usually wash my model's hair, cut it, maybe colour it, and then go for it. Okay, if that's what you prefer to do, that's fine. This has really been designed for people who are colour specialists, who maybe get a client in the chair, and they cut the basic shape in there now, and then they go in and put like their ombre, balayage, foiling techniques, maybe a money piece through the front. They might want to put a money piece through this front area, but they're not really focused on like chopping loads of hair off, okay? So this demonstration this morning is just literally a long, layered, fresh frame, long haircut, all right? So if you've got a client who comes in and you have open questions for your consultation, because for me the biggest mistake as a hair cutter is too short. No one's really going to complain if it's too long. If it's too long, they're just going to turn around and say cut more off, and guess what, it's going to make you run behind. All right, so make sure that you get the consultation right. All right, so the consultation for me is three key questions. Okay. So, what do you love about your hair? Okay, what does she love about her hair? She loves the hair long. Okay, she wants to maintain maximum length. Okay, is there anything you hate about your hair? Yeah, it's flat. All right, I like to get a little more movement in the hair. I just feel like it's flat and I want some more like layers, do you call it? Obviously, she's not a hairdresser, so she might not know the technical term, but she wants a bit more volume. If someone's asking for volume, what technique are you going to use? You're going to use layering. Because what does layering do? It takes out weight, but also creates a lot of volume in the hair. How short you go with your layer, again, all depends on that client's suitability, her face shape, her hair density, her hair texture, her lifestyle. Okay, so if the client says, look, I want lots of volume and I like to wash and leave it and I like it really shaggy and messy, then you're going to go a lot shorter internally. Okay, in this case, she wants longer layers. She just wants to give it a little bit of shape, a little bit of body. So we're introducing some long layers, fresh framing, and maintaining maximum length. So what do you love about your hair? What do you hate about your hair? And then the third and final question on the consultation is, what product are you using in your hair at the moment? All right, so it's really important to ask what products the client's using. Why do I ask that? Is because then it helps me put the right product in on the client's hair. So if the client turns around and says, like, I like serums, I like oils, I like smoothing creams, then all of a sudden when I come to style it, I'm going to use the same products she recommends. So like a smoothing cream, a curl lotion, a leave-in conditioner, anything like that, if she's mentioning those kind of words. If she turns around and says, like, I like mousse, you know, things like that. So it's helping me decide and identify what products I could use behind the chair. Okay, so if you are a hairdresser who goes, I don't do any dry cutting, then what I suggest now is to take your client over to the basin, shampoo, condition, okay, use a prep product like a prep spray, like a leave-in conditioner or detangler spray, okay, comb it all through when it's wet, and then we'll do the section together. Okay, if you're a hairdresser who goes, okay, this is quite quick, you know, I am a colorist, I am stuck when I do some long hair, I have a go-to haircut. Every haircut is the same. I do my ombre, I do my balayage, I put a money piece in, but I do the same technique on my long hair clients on every single haircut. So hopefully this technique, what we show you, is quick and you can use it behind the chair, and guess what? You can make money from it. Because when it's powerful and really popular, yeah, behind the chair, then clients are using it, clients are having it, and you're going to make some money from it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to work from a center. If you've got a client who says, no, I don't wear it in a center, I wear it on a side, then you can suggest to put it in a natural parting. So wherever you part it, if it's slightly off center, if it's onto the side, on the left or the right, work your parting in first of all. In this case, we want that versatility. And what versatility is, where the client can wear it to the left, right, back, forward, ponytail, and it's going to look good. All right, for me, the key to a good haircut is versatility. Clients like change. If you don't give a client choice, she'll give you a choice. She'll go somewhere else for a haircut. All right, so we have to educate our clients on how to style their hair. All right, so in this case, we're going to go center. All right, so a little center parting all the way down. All right, so pretty straightforward. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to put my client onto a profile. And then what you'll start to see now, what we're going to do is we're going to go underneath the crown. So underneath the crown, how do I get underneath the crown? So I use our famous orange edge comb. I pop it on the crown like so. And then below the crown, so literally just below the crown there, okay, above the occipital bone, below the crown, I'm going to work a diagonal section. All right, so I'm just going to work a diagonal section so towards the top of the ear, okay. So technical term, a diagonal forward section, okay? A diagonal forward section to the top of the ear. All right, so if any of you are just tuning in, this is a live. This is not pre-recorded. We are live this morning. So I see a lot of people waving and saying good morning. So it could be good afternoon where you all are. There's different places wherever you are in the world. I have got Katrina on. How are you, my darling? My little super fan. Share. I love you. Hope you're well, my darling. Hope you're going to be watching the football later. Yeah, we're just literally working a little live on dry hair. Okay, so very simple so far. Profile, center parting, all the way down. A diagonal section, okay? Making sure that's below the crown. So if you put the comb flat on the head, below the crown, towards the top of the ear, and guess what? All that nape area now, all this hair in my fingers is going to be clipped up out the way. So we're going to grab that, you're going to twist it, all right? So if this was even longer hair, so you've got a client with very, very long hair, then you would isolate this out the way. Okay, so you just clip that out the way like so, okay? So we're not touching the nape area, all right? So let's get rid of some hair. It's it doesn't get too confusing, all right? So anything under the crown, you're going to isolate out the way. So you can take the clips back out now. And now we're going to work our guideline for our layers. We're going to layer this haircut first, okay? So if anyone's tuning in, we're doing a dry haircut. We got kind of like requested by a lot of our California followers. A lot of our California followers, you know, they do a lot of long hair here in California. There's a lot of colour, you know, a lot of salons who are colour specialists, a lot of blonde specialists, and they were like, we love your pixies, we love your bobs, we love what you do as an educational company, but could you do a long haircut today on dry hair? And we went, yeah, why not? All right. So, because that's what we do a lot of in the chair, behind the chair. So you're doing your colour placement, you're a colour specialist, and you just want to give some nice shape to your long hair clients, okay? So what we're going to do now, we're going to put in a centre section right through the middle, okay? So I'll just twist all that out the way, and we'll take you through that. So we're literally taking you through the middle, okay? So if you go through there, right through the middle, a centre section, right through the centre, okay? About as wide as the comb, so about as wide as your comb, or 2 fingers, about 2 fingers depth, okay? And we're literally going to now layer all the way through the middle, okay? So how are we going to do this? My distribution elevation is 90 to over-directed, all right? So you're going to go 90 from the head up to the ceiling, but then you're going to over-direct it towards the corner of the wall, will I say? Because you're not going to be the wall, you're not going to the wall, but you're not going to the ceiling. So in a way, you're going to the corner of the wall and the ceiling, in between. All right, so head upright, okay? I'm going to start at the front, okay? And how short you take this comes down to your client's lifestyle. So we look at the face shape. So this layer, what we're going to create internally, is also going to be the face framing at the same time. So what I love about this technique, it's fast, it's quick, and you're doing 2 techniques. You're doing 1 technique for two techniques, two ideas, if that makes sense. Because I'm going to layer, but how we're going to layer is also going to make the face framing at the same time. So if you're a hairdresser who's not very good at face framing, and you want to put some long layers in there, and you want to get it perfect, guess what? This is the one. This is the money maker. All right. So what we're going to do here now is we literally lift this up. Okay, my fingers are not as long as the full head, so we subdivide it. So we just take a small amount, like so. So you're lifting it straight to the ceiling, 90, and then you're going to over direct it. Okay, and then you're going to decide where you want this to fall. Okay, so it's dry hair, so it's not going to jump up. If this was wet and you had movement and curl, then maybe leave it more on the longer side. And we're going to point cut. Okay. I'm going to point cut it, keeping it really soft because we're doing a dry haircut. So I want to point cut and keep this all nice and dry. So if you've noticed, my elevation is 90 to over directed. Okay, so on a profile there, you can see, if I work on this camera, you can see that's the idea. Okay, what we're working for. So what's going to happen is when I fall that down, you can start to see what sort of length you've got going on in that front. We don't want to do a really short face frame. All right, if you've got a client who says, look, I want to take my face frame into my lip or to the chin, then guess what? You just go in here and you take more off, okay? The more you take off, the shorter that front's going to be. Think about your client's lifestyle. Does she tie it up a lot? Does she like to tie it behind the ears? Does she wear a ponytail? Then if she does, then this face framing is going to be left longer. Okay, the longer the face frame, the more you've got chances of tying it up and having a bit of fun. Does she use a curling iron, a curling wand? Yeah, if she uses anything like that, then it's going to make it look shorter. So it's better leaving it on the longer side. Okay, so bring it forward, decide what sort of length you've got for. I'm happy with that. I don't want to get carried away. This was just, suggested by a lot of the salons here in California to do a long face frame, a long layer. Ideal for our balayage, money pieces, things like that. So what you're going to do now, you're just going to bring all that coming forward. So the rest of that centre section, the elevation is 90 to over directed. Yeah, and I'm point cutting, yeah, from shorter to longer. Because what happens now is this hair might not reach. So this crown, look, when I bring this crown up at 90, and then I over direct it, look, it hardly reaches. And if it doesn't reach, don't mind. All right, so what's happening is it's longer at the crown and it's shorter at the front. So technically now, if I go through and I want to cross-check it, I'm going to bring everything to the ceiling. So if I bring everything to the ceiling now, if I bring everything up to the ceiling, 90, what you're looking for is shorter to longer, okay? So you're lifting that all the way up to the ceiling, yeah? And what you're looking for here is a layer going from shorter to longer. So instead of doing this kind of 90 and bend your elbow and stretch your body and feel like you're doing a yoga position, and you're like, oh, this is really difficult, I'm not tall enough, yeah? Make it easy for you by you bring it up to the 90 and bring it forward. Bring it 90 and bring it forward. Bring it 90 and bring it forward. When you bring it forward, it's better for your posture. Okay? You're working from shorter to longer. So then when you cross-check, and I lift this up down, you can see the length here is shorter and the length is longer at the back. Okay? So we're creating a seamless layer. And what seamless means is where you can't see it starting and you can't see it finishing. It blends in. It's really seamless. People don't want to have a Christmas tree haircut or a mushroom haircut. All right, so that's the first section done. What you'll do now is you get all that section and you throw it over to one particular side. So you don't split the section in half. All right, so you just, this particular side here, we don't need it. So we'll clip that out of the way. Try and keep it as clean as possible, especially with a client in the mirror. You don't want hair all over her face. All right, so cleaner sections, cleaner haircut. All right, more discipline. So if you can see now, when I look on the profile and look centre, that's a little bit offset now, that parting. It's because the centre section, what we've just cut, is being thrown over this way. All right, so I've got a really nice strong guideline now to go for this side. So what we do now is we mirror the same sectioning pattern. So we just literally work a vertical section or parallel section going right across the head. So let's go over this way and then you'll be able to see the sections. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to continue working parallel all the way down to the hairline. Okay, so if you're a very busy hairdresser, you've been working behind the chair for many years and you understand this technique and it's working on maybe a finer density of hair, you could do that in one go. All right, I'm not here to dictate. All right, I'm just here to share the love. All right, you either love it or you don't. Okay, I always just like to get out there and share what Edge Academy is about. Some things you'll like, some things you might not like, some things you might think, wow, that's so quick and easy. All right, if I was working on a thicker density, then I'll take a few more sections. Okay, finer density, I can take less sections. All right, think realistic. No one wants a 2-hour haircut. All right, think about it. If I can do this haircut quicker, it gives me more chance to work on my colour placement. It makes me more chance to work on something that I need more time on. All right, so I'm going to stand on the opposite side. So I'm going to stand on the opposite side, yeah, and I'm over directing the hair. So what I'm going to create here now is a concave layer. All right, concave meaning shorter in the middle, longer on the outer edges. All right, so we're going to create a concave layer. All right, so your body position is really important. So this haircut, what we're doing this morning, is a haircut which we teach on our boot camp class. We do a 2-day evaluate yourself. It's a 2-day boot camp class on 8 haircuts. We do 8 haircuts in 2 days, and it's evaluating your cutting skills. So we see how good you are as a hair cutter. All right. So if you feel like, wow, I could love to do this haircut, step by step with Anthony at the Academy, then we run the evaluate class every other month. So we have one coming up at the end of this month. So at the end of this month, there's a 2-day haircutting boot camp here at the Academy, and you do 8 haircuts in 2 days. All right, so that's great if you're, maybe you're a colorist or you're not really focused on haircutting and you need a little bit more guidance with your haircutting. Then that's a great investment for anybody to do. All right, what else have we got going on this month? We've got a couple of salons we're going to in San Diego. Going to Hyde Edwards, a really cool salon here in San Diego. We're going to the Colour Bar, all right, a Colour Bar salon in San Diego to do some hair there. What else are we doing? I'll put this straight now so then you can start to see what it looks like when it's straight. All right, we're doing a 1-day haircut on shag haircutting. So we're going to do 1-day class on a modern day shag, a shaggy bob, and a shaggy pixie. So the shag's been really popular over the last 3 or 4 years. People asking for a 70s kind of shag, curtain bangs, things like that are really popular. So we decided to focus on a 1-day class on shag haircutting. So we're doing a long haircut, and then a medium, a mid-length, and then a grown out kind of pixie kind of shape. All right, so we're doing 3 haircuts called the Shag Day. All right, so again, if you want to know more about our education, and you felt like, oh, I'd love to know what they do, we can send you a brochure with all the prices in there. All right, and you can maybe invest and come to California for a couple of days. All right, so the last section now, guys, if you notice there, just pulling all that up now. So what you've got to look out for here is your body position, all right, making sure that you're standing on the opposite side. Also your client's head position, because if you're very heavy-handed, or you've got a lot of tension, and you give a lot of tension to your haircut, you pull, there's nothing much worse, and you pull the hair too much that the client's head starts to move, all right? So always use your mirror. So in this case, I can use the screen, or the screen, yeah? And literally then I'm over directing all that hair. So look, using the larger teeth of the comb, because I'm working on a dry haircut, all right, and it's not going to get tangled. So I'm just combing that all the way through from literally from the hairline all the way through. We're just over directing, and exactly the same, bringing it 90 to over directed. My distribution is 90 to over direct. That's the way you comb it. Elevation 90 to over direct, and then cutting from shorter to longer. Okay, so the technical breakdown there, yeah, is literally distribution and elevation is 90 to over direct, and then we're cutting, yeah, short to long. So shorter at the front, longer at the back. Okay, instead of stretching all your body, you're just combing the hair forward, so it makes it a lot easier. Okay, and then you can drop all that down, and that's one side completed. Alright, so very quick, very salon friendly. It's a great haircut, this one, to do behind the chair. So if any of you are watching and you do a lot of long hair, and you've got a lot of clients with long hair and they get scared of haircuts, they might have a haircut once a year. You know, no disrespect to hair cutting, but if you're a specialist in colour and you have clients who have long hair and they have a haircut once a year, twice a year, this could be a go-to haircut for you, okay? This is a really good one to do. So look, if I shake that out now, as you can see, yeah, it's very seamless. There's no shelf, all right? There's no like, hey, there's your layer, there's your length, good luck, all right? It's literally very seamless. So because of the over-direction, you're creating that kind of concave feeling, all right? So it's getting from shorter to longer to the outer edges. Okay, so that's one side completed. So what we're going to do now, we're going to re-establish that middle section. So you just literally re-establish that middle guideline, what you first cut. So you get that middle section, and you literally now pop it over the opposite side. So you've got a nice guideline all the way through. Now take that clip out that side, and we'll clip this side out of the way. Like I said before, clean, keep it nice and clean. There's lots of mirrors in the salon, and what does that mean? When clients are sat down, they're looking through mirrors and looking at other hairdressers cutting. In a way, if you're not an educator and you're just a hairdresser behind the chair, people still watch you, people still look at you, people still look at like what you're wearing, how you're doing a haircut, how you're approaching, how you're dealing with your clients. People see it. We're in the salon, yeah? Even if you've got a window outside, a big old window of the hair salon, people are looking in, you know, so you're on show all the time. All right, so you can start to see, re-establish that guideline. It's a little bit off-center now. It's a little bit off-center, all right? And now what, I stood on this side and over-directed. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to go on the opposite side, all right? So you're moving around, guys. You've got to move it, move it, move it. You've got to move it. All right, all right, you're going to move around, all right? So that means you go on this side, and now we go on this side, okay? So don't be lazy and stay on one side. If you stay on one side, the balance is going to be off with this haircut, okay? So we literally go through, mirroring the section, standing on the opposite side, and then we've got two devices going. We've obviously we're live on Facebook and live on Instagram this morning. And you just pull that into the middle, okay? So you're just pulling that into the middle. If you over direct it past the middle, say like, okay, I want to over direct it more. I want to really over direct it more. What will happen? It'll be more concave, okay? So what will happen? You leave more weight. So if the client says, I hate my hair when it gets wispy on the ends. When it gets really wispy on the ends and all the weight's been taken out, I hate that. I hate it when it looks like a jellyfish. I hate it when it looks like it's breakage. So if a client says, look, I don't want too much weight out the bottom, then over direct it more to leave more weight and heaviness in the bottom. All right, so you can over direct it as much as you want. A little trick what I would have done is like, say for example, if a client wants it really short, say like lip or the chin, and they want the first section shorter, yeah, but they have longer hair, then that means that it's going to come over more. The more you over direct, the more you will leave in the perimeter. Okay? So just a little pointers. It's always nice to share as much as possible on these Facebook and Instagram lives. If you want to know more, yeah, come to the academy. We'll do a class. Come to California. Do a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day class with us. We have lots of classes planned for the rest of the year. We've got, like we said earlier, we've got the shag class coming up this month. We have our Evaluate Yourself class. Next month, we have our creative and men's haircutting class coming up. So always something going on here at the Academy. What else is new? Just been nominated for Southwest Hairdressers of the Year. Me and Gloria. You might have noticed on our post yesterday, we just got nominated for Southwest Hairdresser of the Year, Colorist of the Year, and Artistic Team of the Year. All right, we will find out later on. I think it's August we find out if we won or how far did we get. But we're obviously in the last 6. We're in the final, so keep out for that one. That's a really good news. We just found out yesterday. So Southwest Hairdresser of the Year, Artistic Team of the Year, and Colorist of the Year from our collections. All right. So just pulling that into the middle. So if anybody just looking there, just pulling that in there, keep it nice and clean. Okay, and then literally working from shorter to longer. Okay, so a lot of people waving. Where are you all from, guys? Obviously I always like to give you a shout out where you're from. I've got people from England watching. I've got people from all over the US watching. Give us a shout out where you're from and I'll give you a wave and say hello. Alright, but we're just literally just finishing off that last bit on that side. Over directing all that now over to one side. Keeping that head straight. Okay, long time bro. It's always been great to see work with you. Johnny, how are you, mate? Good to see you. It's always nice to see people there. Kat, sharing it too. Congratulations from England. Thank you, darling. Willie, good luck for the football. Thank you. All right, so literally working that through. Shake that out. Okay, and we'll see that. High edge, and that is Fredo. How are you, my friend? Cool. So literally just shaking that out, and then you can start to see. Like if I take this clip out now, that's the whole. Layering pattern done. How soft, commercial, salon friendly is that? Yeah, and this is a really great haircut. This is a haircut that, back in my day when I worked in London, you do a lot of the supermodels or the models coming through. They didn't want a haircut. They do a lookbook. Their lookbook costs thousands of dollars for all their imagery and their photographic work. You can't cut their hair. They're a professional model. But they do want to look good. They do want to have a haircut what looks cool. So this was a really big haircut back in the day with all the supermodels. Think about if you've got a clientele who's long hair and you want them to look good. You're amazing at colour, a money piece, baby highlights, ombres, anything like that. But then you think, I want this haircut to look hot. I want the client to even look really cool, that she can manage it. This haircut is the go-to, okay? So, if you're just tuning in, just a little recap what we did. We literally got the comb, we put it flat on the crown, we worked below the crown to the top of the ear, and we clipped the back out the way. So if you've noticed, there's a clip in the back. So that's isolated out the way. And we're only layering from the crown to the forehead. We're only layering all that top area. Centre section right through. Instead of going to the ceiling or to the wall, we're going in between. Okay? So it's 90 from the head and over directing. So you're scooping it. In a way, you're going 90 and scooping it round, and you're going from shorter to longer. And then you pull everything into the middle. All right, and how far you pull it into the middle is honestly up to you. The more you over direct past the middle, then the more weight and length you're going to leave in that bottom. Okay? All right, so longer hair, then you might need to over direct it more. If the hair goes shorter in the front, but she still wants to maintain maximum length, then you've definitely got to over direct it. If you're a little bit nervous when you've cut the first section, if you do this haircut on a real client and you do the first section and you cut it, what I would suggest to do is grab a bit of hair at the top of the ear, at the hairline, grab a bit of hair where you've just cut, and then pull that up. And if this hair now, yeah, is shorter, is longer, sorry, is a lot longer than the piece that you just cut, then that means, yeah, you're going to cut that off. Does that make sense? So look, I could go a lot shorter on this length. Say like she wants to maintain that maximum length. Yeah, if I grab that hair at the top of the ear, look how short I can go. I can cut that much more hair off without disturbing any of that outline. So if that makes sense, look, grab a bit of hair, pull it in, and that's the shortest I can take it. If it's longer hair, it's down here, at the time I've lifted it up, yeah, you might be cutting too much off. Okay, so what you do now, you're just going to check your face framing. All right, you just check the face framing. So you just comb that back off her face, and you just tidy up that face framing if there is any. All right, because of the layering pattern, how you've done it, you've worked from shorter to longer, your face framing should be there, okay? What I would do, I would go through and check it. Why? Just to make sure there's no wispy bits. In a way, you're dusting. You're just going to be dusting this bit. Tickling, you know, whatever you want to call it, all right? You're not really doing a haircut now. You're just literally going to just tidy up a little bit just through that front, all right? So, bringing that forward, and you can start to see. Perfect face frame. Wow. Cool, I had my breakfast this morning. Alright, so just literally you can see, look, an absolute perfect. So it's shorter, going down longer. Shorter, going down longer. Alright, and if you want to strengthen it, you could just literally just dust wherever necessary. Also, this is an option if your client changed their mind. Imagine the client turns around and says, actually, I've just decided, can I go a little bit shorter? And I'm like, where? Internally or through the front? She's like, through the front. That's fine. Then you decide where you want to take it. Like I said earlier, if you take it anywhere above the chin, then she's not going to be able to tie it up. Anything below the chin, she's going to be able to put it in a ponytail. So think of that. Think of a lifestyle. All right? How she's going to do that. All right. A lot of people waving. A lot of people saying hello. Hello, guys. I hope everyone's well on this Wednesday morning, live from San Diego. We are live here at Edge Academy. All right. This is the only haircut I'm doing today, guys, because I'm off to the pub to watch the England game. All right. I've been going to the pub to watch the England football game. All right. And then you just literally just check your hair. Okay. Move that around. Have a look. All right, and this is where you got an option then when you style it. You know, we're not here to do a styling class. This is a haircutting class. All right, it's just a quick technique. But then if you had like a curling iron, you could curling iron that. You could round brush that. How beautiful is that? You know, how salon friendly is it? All right, so we've literally created a nice layer all the way through. So the last part of the haircut is to take the clip out the back. Yeah, and you would trim any dead ends. So this is a client who said, look, I don't want anything off my hair. I want to maintain maximum length. So what we've done is put a long layer internally. That's also created the face framing just to tidy it up. And now, because of the layer is shorter, look, if I pick that up, see the layer, it doesn't affect the actual length. So I can cut the length in one go. how quick is this? All right, so I'm gonna get on my knees and I'm just gonna literally go down, comb it down, yeah, and I would literally, have I got an angle? Yeah, I think you can see me on both devices. And then it's a brand new dolly head, so you can see it's a little bit wispy. All right, and then you would just literally just tickle the ends off there. All right. Again, this is all customization because what your clients see and what my clients see are going to be different. All right, but you want to make sure that your haircut looks good. There's nothing much worse. You do a beautiful colour and then these ends look like they've been fried, or they look dry, or they look wispy. And you do a beautiful colour and you're talking about, hey, I've done a money piece, I've done ombre, look at it. And you get your client to go backwards and you start doing that photograph like that. And you start shaking it around, but all the ends are fried. All right, so make sure that it's nice and strong all the way through there. Okay? All right, so that is the technique completed. It's called an inverted layer, if you don't know what this haircut is. You can do it wet. But today we got recommended from a lot of our followers here in California, can we do a dry haircut? We do a lot of colour. You know, I'm a blonde specialist, I'm a colourist. No disrespect to your education, I love it, but can you do a long haircut? Can you do something that we can work in our salon here in California? And I was like, yeah, of course, let's do something for you guys. All right, so that's what we've decided. So, just to recap it, below the crown to the top of the ear, a centre section right through the middle, shorter to longer, inverted it into the middle, so into the middle, into the middle. You can cross-check if you wish, you can pick up and check your balance. It's concaved all the way through. Then we take the clip out the back, we tidy up the perimeter, whatever you want to do, and then check your face framing, just check it. Yeah, we just checked it just to make sure there was no wispy bits in that face frame. All right, but the layering pattern being shorter in the middle and concaving creates the face frame. All right, so it's kind of like, you know, that kind of old saying of hitting two birds with one stone. All right, the layering pattern creates a long layer in texture, but also hits the face framing at the same time. All right, and then this is where I would now maybe do my colour. So if this was a client now, then I would go and talk about colour and then put in the placement of colour. If she's having a money piece, highlights, etc. Get all that done and then blow dry it. If you're a hairdresser who goes, I don't really do a lot of dry cutting, then maybe colour it first, get it all done, and then do this technique wet. Okay?